Hi, I'm Joanne, and I want to help you connect with your kids through play. In this video, I revisit a conversation that I had with my daughter when I was dropping her off at school. I use a tactic that I've used before, doing a fun craft to create a safe space for difficult conversations. We built brick flowers while we discussed Drake, grooming, pedophiles, and some red flags that might indicate inappropriate behavior. Check it out. Here we go.
Ooh, tiny eggshells. These are eggshells, Mommy.
I suppose you could bake them into that.
Look, see?
So I wanted to ask you a question. You remember the other day when we were talking about Drake?
Yeah.
And grooming and all of that?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
Why would Drake do that?
Well, I mean, not specifically Drake. I don't know what that situation is. I did some research and I looked into it, and basically what it was is that he and Millie Bobby Brown met at one of his concerts, and he was a fan of hers and she was a fan of his, and then they became friends and they started texting each other and they would hang out together and stuff like that, and people thought it was really weird because he's an adult and she was a kid. She was like 14.
That is really weird.
It is really weird. So that made me, you told me that you have friends who are adults, but you do and you don't, right? Like,
yeah.
What's your adult?
Lena.
Okay, so my friends.
Yeah.
But my friends don't hang out with you. They hang out with me, and they're just nice to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why you think they're your friends.
Yeah.
So do you know what signs of grooming can be? Like what an inappropriate relationship between a grown-up and a kid are? So I looked that up too, and there are some things that happen. So a lot of times when a grown-up is grooming a child, they pay a lot of attention to them. They're really, really nice.
But you and Daddy are really nice.
Yeah, but we're your parents.
It's kind of your job.
Sometimes. They start touching kids a lot. It's not necessarily like inappropriate touching at first. It might be just like touching your hand a lot, or like
ain't nobody gonna try me.
or like, saying, "Oh, come sit on my laps," and things like that.
I'm not even sitting on an adult who not you. Look, I don't even sit on people's laps.
Right. So that sometimes escalates, and people don't, kids in particular, they don't know that what the adult is doing is wrong because they're just being really nice. But there are things that are inappropriate, and grown-ups sometimes do it on purpose to get to know kids in that way. So I'm glad to know how you would react, and that you find some of these things that I'm telling you to be weird.
Incredibly sus.
Yeah. But it's one of the reasons, you remember when we were taking piano? It's one of the reasons why I would stay outside the room the whole time, because I didn't feel comfortable leaving my 5-year-old.
I was like 3.
Not when you were doing,
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he was perfectly
He was
nice.
nice, though.
And he didn't do anything, but I was going to make sure that I was there so that nothing happened.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's my job.
Yeah.
And you see that in, like, the girls' gymnastics team. They were abused by their trainer. Yeah, he abused a lot of girls, and he ended up going to jail for it.
Good. He deserves jail.
Exactly. But, it's just one of those things.
Nobody's gonna go abuse my friends and get away with it. That's not how it works.
Yeah, well, now you know that is why people were concerned about the relationship between Drake and Millie Bobby Brown, because it seemed a little weird for him to be getting to know her like that when she was just a kid and he was a grown-up. So yeah, let's keep going with these flowers. I love these.
Yeah. If only we had music on in the background.
This video is not meant to advise anyone about grooming or assault. I am not a therapist or in law enforcement. What I want to do is showcase how I address important topics with my kids. Communication is such an important part of connecting, and I want to show you that you don't have to be afraid of having difficult conversations in an age-appropriate way. I used music, current events, and research to relate to my daughter, have a meaningful conversation, and help prepare her for the world. This isn't the first time, and it won't be the last time that we discuss important topics like boundaries and body autonomy. I want to make sure my kids know that they can talk to me about anything. On another note, I wanted to show you how our flowers turned out. This is the entire bouquet, and it was a really fun activity. Both of my kids did some of the flowers. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you next time.